Hi, my name is Daniel J. Logan. I'm a music producer and a session musician, and I'm also a friend of sporting communities. And over the course of these next few videos, I'm going to be coming up with a few ideas or giving you some hints and tips, looking at ways that you can be creative and find music in the things around you. I'm quite lucky that I get, as part of my job, to go into nice fully featured recording studios, such as this one here around me at the moment. But that's not to say that you need one of these places to be initially creative. There's music all around you, all around the home, all around the places that you might be able to walk and to travel to. So over the next few videos, I'm going to be giving you a few hints and tips or things to look out for so that you can start making some noise. Making some music. Right, video number 1 is drums and percussion. Just be careful with this one. You can get carried away and get quite loud. One of the things that I look for is actually not always to go massively loud just for the sake of it. And in fact, what we're going to be looking at later on in the video is how to pull sound out of a drum rather than just beating sound into it. So as you look around your house for things that you can hit, then just be careful and don't break anything, and also don't go too loud because actually it won't sound as nice anyway. Let's start with one of these. This is just a straightforward kind of bongo type, conga type drum. And it's one of the more simple drums, but it's something that we can use as inspiration to find other things that we can pull sound out of. If I play this, what we can hear is the sound resonating out of the drum. It's not just a flat sound. You're not just getting something like this. What I'm looking for is I'm trying to pull the sound out of it and to bring out the resonance that's within the drum itself. Listen again to this. What we're listening for is that ring. So if we can find something with a ring in it, then we can probably make quite a nice rhythm out of it. So let's try and find some things to look for. Cup of tea? Okay, that resonance, that ring that we're looking for, is really helpful to us because it just allows the sound to swell a little bit, even though we're playing an instrument that is percussive, so it doesn't have necessarily a tone to it or a note to it like a guitar or a saxophone or something like that. The resonance that we're trying to find fills out the sound. So let's take this as the example. Here we have the teapot, and we've got two different parts to this really. We've got the lid. If we ignore the handle, that's not going to do anything much. And we've got the main body of the teapot. So let's start with a simple rhythm using these two parts. Let me just hold this handle. That's the other good thing about the teapot actually, because you've got the handle, it stops you from dampening the sound too much. So this is a good starting point. So here we have our teapot. So let's start with beat 1, and we're just going to count to 4. We're going to play each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to play that on the body of the, almost said instrument then, but I guess it now is an instrument, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we swap and alternate between the two, we'll start to get a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do that again without counting. Okay, the other thing you might have heard, is as I released my finger from the top of it, I kind of did it quite forcefully. And what that did was it made it kind of bounce a little bit. And we got a little secondary beat, so we started to get quite a groove going on just with this one teapot. So let's do that once more. Right, I've found a big trunk or a flight case in this instance. Here we go. It's massive, and importantly, it's empty. As you can see, it is very empty and very blue. Now you may not have a flight case lying around your house, but you may have something like maybe a tea chest, potentially. People might have one of those in the loft somewhere, or you might be able to get an old trunk or something. Sometimes people store clothes in those kind of things, and you keep them at the foot of your bed or something. Empty it out and have a look at trying to get some sounds out of it. Now, what we're going to have a look at on this example is different things will have different sounds on different parts of them. And one of the things that I find really fascinating, and I do this a lot in my job, is to find where all the different sounds are on any given either instrument or object in this case. Now start by taking the palm of your hand and lightly tapping the top of the object. Now hopefully what you can hear is that that's quite bassy, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of the sound that we want. But if you turn to the side of it, you can immediately hear a different sound. So just try taking the palm of your hand for bass and the tips of your fingers for a kind of more trebly sound, a more high-end top sound, because it's a lighter touch. Let's try that that same rhythm that I did on the teapot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just experiment. Just have a look and hit the different parts of the object. And always, as I say, be careful, don't go too loud, because it just doesn't sound as good. If I really hit this, and it's loud, but it just doesn't really have the same finesse as this, does it? Okay, now I realise that teapots and trunks and things are slightly odd things to start maybe making music out of, but they are things that you can use. I actually get paid to do stuff like this. I'm working on an album at this very moment that has one particular track on it that I thought it would be a good idea to get an old dusty brick, and so I went down to a building site and asked if I could borrow one of their old bricks, and I hit 2 bricks together as part of a percussion track on the album, and it actually sounded really good. I mixed the song last week and it sounded really good. So you can use everyday objects that aren't necessarily musical instruments, and you can start to get some really nice percussive textures out of them. So have a look around you, try and find some things to give you some inspiration, and start making some music. And I'll see you guys next time when we're going to be talking about some more tonal instruments.